All right. So this is Monday, August 24th, and I'm going to do a weekly reading for this whole week, for the collective, for anyone who's tuning in. Hi, that's Britt, right? BB Handmade. Who is that? Let me know your name in comments, because I don't always know your handle off the top of my head. So how many times am I going to say so? I'm just going to pull a card and start talking. Hello. Brittany, all the way from Germany? What time is it over there? Okay, here we go. Actually, I'm going to get my little cloth. You don't need a cloth. You don't need anything when you read tarot. You can do it. You can have crystals. Why do we get a crystal? Have an amethyst. We don't need them. Cards are going to talk. We're going to listen. That's all that really matters. No, from the US. Okay. Okay. So we're asking the cards, what information do we have for everybody who's going to tune in, whether you're listening live now or you're going to catch this later on a recap or find it on my YouTube channel or wherever you end up getting it. Even if it's weeks, years in the future, this is relevant for you because you're getting it now, and that's how things work. So here's what we have, though, for us who are live for this week. Ooh, oh my goodness. All right, nothing light. So this is past lives and politics. So go ahead and just look at those for a second. It's kind of intense, right? Both of them are really intense. Okay, so let's talk about politics. So the first thing that probably popped into your head when I said politics is, oh, well, yeah, political season, all the politics that are going on, everything seems to be made political these days. And that is probably what the card is about, but more than that, the card is always going to be about you and what's going on for you. So I think this card is saying, this card itself, when it comes up in an individual reading, this card means that we are too focused on negotiation and compromise with the people that we're with or the world at large, and that we're not being necessarily true to who we really are, that we're showing one face to the world and another face is true internally. And the thing is that we can never really be fully present and manifesting what is true for us if we are doing that. We have to show up authentically. So that's what the politics card is really about. And when it comes to making it relevant to the political situation now, what I would say is that you have to be realistic with yourself about what is true and what matters to you. And I'm not going to go down the politics road right now. So think of this much more as just what is relevant for you personally. Where are you not showing up authentically? Where are you showing an inauthentic face to people around you and to the world? And we all do this. We all can continue to grow in this. There's always people who are not willing to show up authentically with because of fear. And this is always a call to drop that, to refuse fear and take our stand in love and learn what that really means. What does that mean to really be in love? In love, not in love with someone, but to be in love so that we're not operating from fear. Now, past lives, this is a heavy card. And I'm going to talk more about it in a different context in a minute, because I want to address some of the questions that people submitted to me ahead of this, after I do this general reading. So past lives means that you are working through, right now, healing deep wounds from the past. Whether there are really past lives and you've lived before and this is stuff from a previous life, or this is stuff from earlier in your life, which can also be considered a previous life for you. What it means is that all the people that you've been, you are moving forward out of the different people that you've been, the different faces you've inhabited. So just think about it in this lifetime, and then you don't have to ask the question about, did I live before? Like, don't worry about that. Just think of this unless that really resonates for you, if previous life really resonates for you and it has meaning for you as I talk, then fine. But if you're going to get caught into, well, I don't know if I had a previous life or, any thoughts like that, then don't worry about that. Just think of this, that you're healing deep wounds from this life. And that's enough, right? And if we have previous lives, we come into this life heal with the wounds that need to be healed from a previous life. So really, it's same, whether it's previous life or earlier in this life. For me, I know this card is really relevant. If you saw my stories on Instagram, I didn't post it on Facebook. I'm just reading someone's comment. Yeah. So someone's saying that they have a chronic illness and every day she's been putting on a face and, trying to present a different face to the world rather than what is real for her. And that's exhausting in and of itself. So there's way deeper information there about healing. These two things are going together pretty clearly. This will make you sick. And you have to discover that wound and let it heal. And the way to let the wound heal is by feeling the pain. Feeling the pain. So someone wrote in, I post on Facebook and Instagram ahead of time for a couple of days. I let people write in questions. You can always ask me questions. You can always send me something to talk about. You can ask questions right now if you want in any of the comments. But a lot of people ask more general questions, but the one that I'm really going to focus on for the rest of this reading is a pretty powerful one. Someone wrote, "Will I ever feel whole again after losing a child?" And man, that just, hit me in the heart so powerfully. I was humbled that they were willing to trust me to ask that question. And I have been thinking ever since I received it, not just thinking with my mind, but really opening and asking the God of my understanding for guidance, which is all I'm really ever doing. And so that question, will I ever feel whole again after losing a child? The first thing I was thinking is that I'm not sure that's really the question. I think the question is more probably, will I ever be able to move through this incredibly debilitating grief that I'm feeling after having lost my child? And without even pulling a card, I know that the answer is yes and no. You will move through. You will heal. But that child will always have died, and you will always be missing that. So both are going to be true. And the way through, or the way to get to the other side of the worst feeling that you're not whole and that you never will be, is to totally surrender to the grief. Completely. And you don't have to put on a face for anyone, not even your other children, not even your spouse, not even your family, certainly not strangers. This is all about you healing your wounds. And remember that you don't know what your child was here to do. And if something happened and he or she died, then that was essential. We have to trust that if it happened, it was essential. And who knows, your own children are mysteries. Our own children are mysteries to us, right? So your child had a path to walk, and though it was a complete shock and doesn't seem right, that walk was over when the child died, and it's okay. You are left behind with a great, big, indescribable grief, and I am not in any way lessening that. I want to pull another card for that specifically, and then I'm going to read something that I wrote this morning, and I think it came through me Most things that I write come through me. You know, who am I anyway? Who are any of us? Everything's coming through us from source, from God, from whatever word you want to put there that has meaning for you. That which created you, that which animates you, that which creates and animates everything that is. So this is for the person who's lost a child. Okay. Relinquish control of yourself and of your grief. Allow your heart and your head to be connected in harmony. Allow those dolphins of joy and love and deep care to come into your heart and relieve your suffering. And don't postpone this process. And don't postpone your joy, and don't feel like when your joy arises naturally in your day, don't feel like you can't feel it. That joy is still the same joy you would be having with your child if your child were here. So it's as though on some level your child also hasn't left, right? So you can grieve the loss of the child and still live the joy with your child. Not in a body, but in whatever way has meaning for you. Don't postpone your life, but more than that, before you can really get back to your life, such as it is, you have to not postpone your grieving process. So the more that you try to resist it, or resist having conversations, or resist the healing that's offered to you in any way, the harder it will be to heal and the longer it will take. So this might be describing somewhat how you feel now. This is describing the action that you need to take. Really allow the heart to open to the healing that's being offered constantly. And then the future will be that you don't continue to postpone your life, because that serves no one. So that was kind of, this is sort of a pretty intense reading, I know. And I want to say that I felt like I wanted to spend time on that and read this because we are all grieving. We are all grieving all the time. And we are walking around right now, most of us, feeling pretty intense grief for personal things, for what's happening in the country, for COVID, for the way that everything changed overnight, for your fears, all of it. But the grief is an opportunity, and the COVID shutdown is an opportunity, and this mass change that's happening right now, it's an opportunity. And we are being offered the opportunity not just to feel it internally, but to heal it collectively by sharing it collectively. So find those real family people. They might not be your birth family, but who are the people you can show your true face to? And if you have that community, turn to them. And if you don't have that community, call to the universe to bring it to you. Ask for it. They will come. The people you need to talk to will always come. What you need is always given if you ask for it. So I'm going to read this, and then I'm just going to probably close unless anybody sends in any more questions or comments that you want to make right now. If you are given incredibly deep loss and grief, do not try to understand it or explain it, but instead open your arms to it. Be with it fully and honestly. Invite the God of your understanding to send you the help you need, the people you need, and the healing you need. Trust that the body-racking, blinding experience of grief is the very thing that leads you through it. There is no formula, no prescription, no process, other than what arises naturally in every moment. Stay the course. Resistance is futile, and if you stop resisting and go on the grief journey that is offered, you will move through it. You will be blessed with many gifts beyond your wildest imaginings. Allow this. Travel your path with gratitude for what is while grieving what has been lost. I want to show this. I forgot to pull it out of its packaging. This photograph is called "The Only Way Out is Through." And if you want to see it again, it's all over my page and you can find it and on my website. It's called "The Only Way Out is Through," and that's always the truth. So I leave you with blessings, and I trust your process. I will trust it for you if you can't trust it for yourself. And I encourage you to just dive in, feel it completely, take care of yourself. No matter who you think needs to rely on you, no matter what you think you need to be, let that go. In every moment, be authentic with what's arising. It ebbs and it flows. If you allow yourself to feel the grief, it won't go on forever. It won't. It won't. It will change. It will morph. And I think, yes, you will feel whole again. When you allow yourself to feel completely broken, that is going to be how you will find your wholeness. So I send you off with love and gratitude for showing up as yourself to your life. And I will see you next week, and maybe before that on Instagram and Facebook. Much love.